understand. You're a perfect man. Got the whole world in your hands, but you still reaching out for me. Ooh, wow, why you love me too? I'm nothing like you. Opposite of holiness was what I was, but until you, till I saw that.
Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl TarynJ, and this is Life as TarynJ. So as you can see by the title down below, this is about to be a get ready with me slash story time, kind of, you know, story situation video or whatever. So if y'all are ready to hear how God yelled at me, he was very audible with me, stay tuned. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm actually gonna be doing my hair. I'm putting like wand curls in it. I'm actually not going anywhere. Your girl's in the house. I'm gonna be for real. I'm in the house, but I really want curls in my hair. I like the after look. So not necessarily like the curls when they're like fresh to curl, but the curls after they're curled, like a couple of days. So I'm gonna go ahead and y'all, my hair is so freaking thick. Like, it's really thick, which sometimes can be super annoying, but we're gonna make it work. We're gonna figure it out somehow, some way. Also, if you see me looking over here, it's because I got a mirror over here. Let's see, I can show you. Yeah, there's a mirror over here, so I can, let me see if I can put y'all as close as I can to the mirror. Yeah, there's a mirror over here, so as I'm curling my hair, because you know I'm pregnant, I'm tired, I need to sit down. I already cooked, you know, a whole meal from scratch, standing up. I can't be on my feet no more. They hurt. They hurt. So I'm going to sit down and I'm gonna tell y'all this story, and yeah, let's get into it. So y'all, this actually happened, was it 4 years ago? I want to say it was 4 years ago actually that this happened, that I heard God's voice audibly and he yelled at me. I feel like it's something I can never forget. I actually was recording around this time, so I want to see if I can find the video, because I know exactly, I want to say it was 2019. Okay, so correction, it was 2020, so it was 3 years ago. Yeah, 2020 was actually like a really good year for me. Even though the world shut down, like a lot happened. But anyway, that ain't what this story is about. Well, this video, that's not what it's about. So what it's about is when I heard God audibly. So this is 3 years ago. Mind you, y'all, I've lived in this apartment for 6 years. And I've lived here so long because I was a single mom for 5 years before I met my husband. We've only been married, depending on when you're, I don't know when y'all are watching this, but as of right now, we've only been married a year and 11 months. So, yeah, but I've lived in this apartment 6 years. And in those 6 years, 3 of those years, my siblings were back and forth. Living with me, not living with me, living with me, not living with me, living with me, not living with me. Like, it was the most annoying. And if you've been watching me this long, like, if you like an OG, like, back 3 years ago or plus, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about with my siblings moving in and moving out. Anyway, moving in and moving out, because they did it for about 3 years, but I allowed it. So that's really my fault or whatever. So anyway, yeah, they moved in, moved out for about 3 years before I just, 2020 was the year that I just completely was like, nah, y'all can't live here no more, y'all can't stay here no more, y'all need to figure it out. If I have to be an adult and I have nobody to turn to and run to and go back to, y'all ain't gonna have nobody, because we just live differently. Like, I was on my walk with Christ, and it was just very difficult with them and how they lived, and I just wasn't about how they lived, okay? I'm gonna put it like that. But if you're an OG, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, so one day I'm home, right? Because I was in school, and my sister had come back from her like mini ventures of being gone and then coming back or whatever. But I noticed this bag on the, what is it called? On the kitchen table. And at first I didn't think nothing about it, but I went to the laundry room to go wash, you know, check on the clothes. Cause I was doing laundry or whatever. Cause as a mom, I'm always doing laundry. Like, and now I got a husband and I'm about to add another child to the mix. I'm forever doing laundry. It just never stops, okay? So single ladies or single moms, the laundry don't stop, okay? So anyway, and for some reason, usually when things were on the table, I walk past them, I don't pay them no mind. And for some reason I glanced and I saw a pack of tarot cards. Now, yeah, I don't play with witchcraft. I do not. I'm sorry. I am not one of those Christians that believe you can swear up and down you love God, but you playing with tarot cards, Ouija boards, seeing mediums and psychics, playing with crystals. I'm not one of them Christians. I don't play with that. Like, that is witchcraft. That is ideology. Even like when people look too deeply into horoscopes, like, I don't play that. I don't play that. I'm sorry. Like, judge me. I don't care. But I ain't one of them Christians. Like, I just don't do that. Because people could say, oh, it's not witchcraft. It really is. Like, it really, really is. And I don't, it's enough for me. Oh, but I kind of like it like that. What y'all think? Anyway, it's witchcraft, and I'm gonna pull it up. Hold on. I believe it's in Deuteronomy. Okay, yeah. It's Deuteronomy 18, 10 through 14. Let no one be found among you who sacrifices their son or daughter in fire, who practices divination or sorcery, interprets omens, engages in witchcraft or casts spells, or who is a medium or spiritist who consults the dead. Anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord. Because of these same detestable practices, the Lord your God will drive out those nations before you. You must be blameless before the Lord your God. The nations you will dispose. Listen to those who practice sorcery or divination, but as for you, the Lord your God has not permitted you to do so. So, I don't play that. Tarot cards, talking to the dead, I don't know. No ma'am, no ma'am, I don't play that. So anyway, I see these cards on the table. Mind you, they're in a bag, and the bag is like slightly open or whatever. And I'm like, what is this on my table in my apartment that I pay for alone? Like, what is this? And well, at first I passed it and I was like, am I tripping? Did I see what I think I just saw? Or, because the box hadn't been open yet. I'm like, did I see what I think my brain saw? Or maybe I didn't see that. What's going on, Lord? So I go back, I walk past the bag again, and this time I actually like looking at it. And it is the tarot cards. And of course, I know it's not my brother because both of them were living with me at the time. It's not my brother, it's my sisters. And I'm just like, great. So, long story short, and anybody who just clicked on this video who might be new to my channel, I've said this plenty of times before, but in case you're new here, me and my siblings were not raised Christian. We weren't really raised as anything, sadly enough. You know, my mom, she claims that she is Southern Baptist. My dad claims Christian. But we weren't taught really either. So that's why I always say, like, we come from the same household. Like, all three of my siblings, we come from the same household. We were raised, you know, together. We're only basically each 2.5 years apart. And we had the same mom and dad, but we all just came out so differently, like very, very differently or whatever. And that's because we did. Like, we are all three very different individuals. But anyway, so long story short on that situation, ultimately I told my sister, like, if this is what you want to deal with, that's fine, but you gotta go, okay? Like, these cars need to get up out of my apartment immediately, like immediately. And you know, if this is what you want to dibble dabble in, you can get out immediately as well. Because mind you, our parents live in a different state, so it's just the three of us in this state by ourselves, essentially. So those were her options at the time. So of course she's trying to convince me that these cars, they're not witchcraft, they're not, you know, da 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 da. I don't want to hear all that. I said what I said. I stand on what I said. Because what people fail to realize is when you mess with that stuff, you give the enemy a foothold in your life. You're giving him legal permission to come into your life, and he has legal authority to be there and his little dominions. So at the end of the day, it's like, all right, you allowed him here. He has legal permission to be here. Like, I don't play that. So anyway, y'all, yeah, I just did not, and this is when I did not really, like, I had a church. The church I was going to, I would not say was it was a decent church, but it was very surface level church, mind you, just before the pandemic. So it is 2020, but it's like right before March, right before everything gets locked down and everything like that, before all of that. So I'm going to church, and I don't want to say I started out my walk with Christ alone, but I kind of started out alone because the church I was going to for Austin was like low-key a mega church. So yeah, but anyway, let's get to the point. So I just did not feel comfortable in my home anymore, because it's like, if you're dibbling in this, and this is just like me and my sister at the time, we're very, very close now, very close. She is starting to see the light, like I'm rubbing off on her. But at the time we couldn't be, like, we were like oil and water, we didn't mix. And the reason I let her stay with me is because she was my sister, and if not, you know, she would be homeless, and nobody wants to see their sibling out on the street. And I'm not saying, like, well, anyway, point is, I just did not feel comfortable being here, and I didn't have the proper leadership or guidance within my walk, I guess. So my solution was like, all right, I'm just gonna move. So that's pretty much my solution. I was like, all right, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna go. I had plans in my mind to move to Florida, to live in Orlando, which I believe is like 2.5 hours from where my parents live, which that would have been, like, you know, pretty good distance or whatever. So that was my game plan. When my lease was up, like what, 4 months or 5 months after this situation. So anyway, my plan was to move in with my best friend until it was time for me to like move to, you know, Florida. That was my plan. God clearly had other plans for your girl, because as you can see, I'm still in this apartment. My plan, like, I literally packed up 90% of this apartment. I had low-key moved majority of my stuff with my best friend. I was already like spending the night over there and stuff like that, and I hadn't been home in a couple of days. Because even though my sister wasn't here, I just did not feel comfortable being here, you know? It was a shame, and I know now looking back, I know that was the enemy trying to intimidate me and make me, you know, cause me to make a decision that was not in the will of God. So that's looking back. But anyway, so well, I should have got some clips, but whatever. I kind of like the messy curly look anyway, so it really don't matter to me. So yeah, most of the apartment was packed up. Like, I had took down the curtains. I like unplugged it. Like, y'all, you would have thought somebody was real life moving up in here. Like, it did not look like anybody was living here for real. And I was fine with that. So yeah, like, I was getting everything together, and my plan was to move in, me and Bailey to move in with my best friend for a little while, and then move off to Florida into our own place. And mind you guys, I was having like a lot of issues securing a place in Florida. Like, none of the places I was reaching out to was reaching out back. It was a lot. So, you know, God pretty much had been, nope, sis, you're not doing that. Like, putting up roadblocks, basically saying you're not leaving. Looking back, I understand that, but at the time I was just like, all right, what's going on? I didn't reach out to all these different apartments. I'm calling, ain't nobody answering the phone. I done reached out to like realtors, no one's answering me, no one's emailing me back. This is crazy. Looking back, I wasn't supposed to go in the first place. So I finally come back to the apartment, and I pray in my closet. So, you know, you can just feel the Holy Spirit. Like, I prayed throughout the apartment, but that was like my primary place at the time to pray, because I was having, everybody was here. Like, my sister was here, my brother was here, Bailey clearly was here, and I didn't have much space of my own, unfortunately, in an apartment I was paying for. So I went to go pack. The closet was literally like the last thing I packed up, because I knew in my spirit, like, God was not like, he was not finna let me bounce. Like, I knew in my spirit, he was like, girl, I ain't tell you to move. Who told you to move? Not I. And I knew it in my spirit. I could feel it in my spirit. And so it was the last thing I was packing up. And mind you, when I did it, I was by myself. My sister wasn't here, my brother wasn't here, Bailey was at daycare. I'm still in school. I think I was, oh yeah, I even reached out to community college out there in Orlando. Nobody was getting back to me. Okay, they didn't. God said no. He said But anyway, so I'm just like trying to pack up the closet, and in the midst of me packing up the closet, I hear the loudest voice, the absolute loudest voice. Mind you, I'm here alone. It's not my voice. I know for a fact it's not even like a voice. It wasn't even my thoughts. Like, I know it was God audibly speaking to me. Loud as that, he says, I told you not to go. I said no. When I said, I acted like I ain't hear nothing. I acted like it did spook me. It scared the mess out of me. Because first of all, I'm in this apartment alone. But what I said, I acted like, all right, that means I need to go to Walmart and go get some crates. I don't know why. I was like, oh, that must be the answer. I knew that wasn't the answer. And my spirit knew that wasn't the answer. But I was like, that's what I'm finna do. I'm finna go to Walmart. I'm finna go buy some what's this, like, storage bins. I was like, I need to leave. I need to go. Because ain't no way I'm staying in this apartment. And I just heard what I heard. Like, he literally said no. And I was trying to be disobedient and not listen. Because like I said, my plan was to stay at my best friend's house. Oh, girl, look at these curls. This almost look like a weave. It's cute. Was to stay at my best friend's house until it was time for me and Bailey to get the U-Haul and bounce. And I'm trying to tell the story best to my recollection because this was 3 years ago and I'm pregnant, so bear with your girl. But anyway, I go to Walmart. I run into one of my old classmates and we were talking for like about an hour, just chopping it up. And then I get in the car and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go get in the car and head back over to the apartment before I gotta go pick up Bailey and go ahead and get the closet packed up, even though God told me no and I'm being disobedient and I'm not listening. And y'all, I was freshly in Christ at this point. Like, I had rededicated my life to Christ. Yeah, the beginning of 2020. I want to say late 2018, I had dedicated my life back to Christ. 2019, January 2019, I got baptized, all that. So I had rededicated my life. So I was still like fresh back walking with Jesus after, you know, being gone for a little bit. I go ahead and I get back in the car and my phone rings and it's my best friend. And I'm like, what's up? And she was like, yeah, so about us living together. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, my rent went up significantly and I'm gonna have to move into this 1-bedroom, because at the time she had a 2-bedroom. She had 2 huge bedrooms. But she's like, yeah, my rent went up significantly. I have to move into this 1-bedroom because I can't afford the, you know, rent for this 2-bedroom anymore because the market price went up. And although she was in the leasing industry, well, she kind of still is, but she was in that industry, you know, she was like, nah, I gotta move. I have to move like now. So, you know, I know we made plans, but I can't do it. And I wasn't even mad, to be honest with y'all. I already knew what was up. I already knew. I was like, all right. I already knew, like, God had already said no. I was trying to be disobedient. I was trying not to listen because I wanted my way. I didn't want to stay in this apartment. I was just, yeah, a mess. But he told me no. And then he made sure it was a definite no when she called me and explained what happened or whatever. So yeah, that is pretty much how God yelled at me. And I heard his voice extremely clear, like extremely clear, without any thought, hesitation, none of that. I was like, okay. It's a no. It's a no. And it all really worked out, because if I had went and stayed with her and then things would have fell apart, I would have had my apartment to go back to. That would have sucked. That would have sucked tremendously. And God clearly already, like, he knows the future, y'all. Like, he knows what's about to happen before it happens, and how it can affect us. You know, his no's aren't like no's to hurt us a lot of the times. It's no's to protect us. It's like not a no. His no's are usually his protection for us as his children. And a lot of times we don't think about it that way. It was like, it could be like, you wanted this car, this particular car, and this is the car you've been wanting for a very, very long time. And, you know, you just think you need to have this car, and it just, when it comes time to get this car, and somehow everything just falls apart, you're like, God, like, what's going on? You know, why I can't have this car? And little did you know that the dealership you had planned to get the car from was not a dealership of integrity, and God really had something better in store for you, because something was gonna happen to the car and you've been SOS. And that's just something like really minor, you know, like really minor. Like, God knows. I mean, come on, Alpha, Omega, the beginning and the end. He knows the beginning, he knows the end, he knows the middle. Like, he knows it all. And sometimes we want our way. And I'm speaking to myself. I'm not even just speaking, you know, just as, you know, preaching y'all. I'm not trying to preach to y'all. I'm speaking like to myself as well. He knows the beginning, he knows the end. So sometimes no means no for protection. It's not to hurt our feelings. Like, sometimes it's like, oh, well, you need to build your character. I need to build your character some more. You're not ready for this. So, no. Or he sees how it can negatively affect us. And he is a father that gives good gifts. Read your word. He is a father that gives good gifts. He would never sit here and just be like, oh, you want that? Wouldn't, like, because we want it immediately. It's like it's like a kid. Y'all, I can't give Bailey every little thing she asks me for, because I know, me being her parent, I know that some things would not be in her best interest as of right now. Like, it just wouldn't be. And me being her mother and being her protector, and, you know, God entrusting me to watch after her, it's like, no, this, you don't understand right now, but as you get older, you'll understand that, no, you can't have this right now. Not at this age. You're not mature enough. You haven't grown enough character to handle this. And something my pastor says that I quite frankly agree with. If you've been praying for something, you have a desire for something, and you don't have it yet, it's usually because you're not ready to have it. Like, I thought for so many years I was ready to have a husband. Baby, no, I wasn't. That was a lie. I wasn't ready. I just became ready. Like, in my waiting season, obviously I became ready, but I wasn't ready when I wanted it. Like, when I thought I wanted it, I wasn't ready. That just, baby, let me tell y'all something, I wasn't ready. But I thought I wanted it. And, or even like when I did get pregnant, I thought I wanted to get pregnant when me and my husband first got married. Baby, thank God I did not. Because, for the simple fact of, there was a lot going on when we first got married. A lot going on. God had to, like, grow our marriage. And yes, we've only been married 2 years, but he had to, like, we had never been with each other before. Like, we were learning each other. On top of the fact, like, I was still heavily in school when we first got together. So it wouldn't have been a good idea. Like, if I had got pregnant when I wanted to get pregnant by this man, our child would probably be a year and some change at this point. All right, y'all, so I turned off the camera to finish my hair because the story was pretty much done. But yeah, this is how my hair came out. It's curled, well, it's wanded. I just used this Hot Shot Tools wands. I don't even remember where I got that. Probably Sally's. But yeah, and I like when the curls are kind of like, I don't know, I like when they kind of drop. So this is how I'm gonna wear it to church. Well, it's gonna be dropped even more by the time I wear it to church, but y'all get the point. So yeah, y'all, I really hope y'all enjoyed. Yeah, God, he is a good father. He give good gifts. So if you don't have it yet, it's because you're not ready. You ain't supposed to have it yet. So in those seasons, prepare for it. Like, yeah, I prepared for marriage in my single season. I prayed that the Holy Spirit, you know, would prepare me. He did in so many ways, in so many aspects. Because if I had met my husband, like, I don't know, 5 years ago, we wouldn't be married, okay? We wouldn't be married. I needed that time. Excuse me, I needed that time. God needed to work on me and work on my heart and work on my soul and prepare me, because I wasn't ready. I would have fumbled the bag, okay, y'all? Would have fumbled the bag. But I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all were encouraged. I hope this brought entertainment. Y'all stay blessed, y'all stay encouraged, and y'all stay in the word, honey.
He's making me better. I'm turning a new thing. He's making me stronger, yeah, yeah. Christ is in my life, oh yeah, I'm good, yeah. Christ is in my life, oh yeah, I'm good, yeah. Wow, I can understand. You're a perfect